Hey, everybody, and welcome back to a very special, as far as time is concerned, episode of the Chipman Brothers Tangent Podcast. You're going to be listening to this on March 18th, 2020, which celebrates the 3-year anniversary of the very first one of these Bob and I ever did. Back when we didn't know, back when we didn't know what to call it, back before it was the Tangent. I wanted it to just be released on that day to thank everybody, because this is now 3 years of not only us doing this show, but me doing all of my stuff and becoming a bit of a tiny personality in this crazy hellfire we call the internet.
Yeah.
Before getting in there, I'd like to thank the people that have helped me get here and help us get here. They are my $15 or more a month patrons. They are Mason, Christopher Finnick, Patricia Chipman, Hugh K. Campbell Jr., Alex Peregrine, Kevin CV, Mike the Gatherer, Tyler Freshcorn, Mark Price, and Collaborating Online. And I'd like to thank my newest patrons, Gene, Nicholas Heeb, Cinderelf, and Collaborating Online. And even though I'm sure I'm going to miss some people, because this is a very special episode and it's the Chipman Brothers Tangent, which everybody loves so much, I'd like to thank the following people for having me on their shows. They are the Pumpkin Copter Cast by Tyler Gorman, Cinema Spection by Tim and Corinne Luz, Engaged Family Gaming Podcast by Stephen Dutzman, the Adventure Incorporated podcast that my friend Mike Ellison and his wife, or soon-to-be wife, and a whole bunch of their friends are part of. That is a live play Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Recorded Tomorrow, which is an amazing podcast about time travel, and the Film Rescue podcast, which I was recently on talking about Serenity 2019. And somehow, some way, I think Bob and I are going to be on that at some point to discuss Batman versus Superman with them. And because all of these shows are kind of going this way, this week's episode is brought to you by the Geeks with Shields podcast. I'm not going to go into the big, long diatribe about them because I just talked about a lot of people, but you've heard me on the Geeks with Shields podcast. They're your place for all things good and nerdy in the darkest timeline, and check them out. So, Bob, how the hell are you doing?
Well, I can talk again. That's nice.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob does not have COVID-19. Despite what the majority of the internet believes.
I don't think it's the majority of the internet. I think it's just I had a cough.
The loud ones.
It was gone. You know, you got to stop. Let me handle the people who were pissy about things. Don't bother with that stuff.
Understood.
Most of those aren't even people.
That's true. But yeah, you're doing better. And I pinch hitted for you for a couple of weeks for your escapist stuff, and people seem to like that.
You did, and you did a very good job. Very good with the reading of the scripts and giving me the audio. Did a great job. I want to thank you very much for that. It really helped me out and made everything go much more smoothly.
Yes, and unfortunately, as Bob's voice was getting worse and worse at the beginning, we still had to do a panel at Pax East, which is the last big convention that wasn't canceled because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, well, I think WonderCon got canceled, I believe, but like a couple conventions are still going on. But like this was definitely that was probably the last thing here in Boston, because Boston's in a state of emergency now. I think the president has decided that the United States is in a state of emergency from the thing that he doesn't think is a real thing as of today, right?
Yes, as of today, he finally said the words.
As of today, we're in a state of emergency. Okay,
yes.
So we got that, and so a couple things have been called off. I know the Boston Independent Film Festival or International. Yeah, Boston Independent Film Festival has been called. That sucks, or at least postponed. Tribeca is off. VidCon is almost certainly off. I haven't heard full confirmation yet. VidCon is
South by Southwest.
South by Southwest is off. We don't know if Cannes is off yet. I don't think, but possibly. They canceled the schools in the city of Lynn, Massachusetts, where your kids go to school. So have fun with that.
Oh yeah, we're canceled through to the beginning of April right now. My daddy boot camp course that I teach is canceled.
Yep.
But I went and recorded myself doing it and gave it to the hospital so they can show that to the dads if they want.
Oh, good. That's good of you.
Because I'm a good doobie.
Well, you good guy. Shit. What else? Yeah. We haven't heard about San Diego Comic-Con yet. I feel like that is, like it's in the middle of July. They're expecting, if this behaves like the flu, that the hot weather will make a difference. Hopefully that's the case. I don't want to, knock on wood, SDCC won't be canceled.
Yeah.
March Madness is gone, right? Like they said we're going to play without people, and now
I
they
think
say,
all sports
yeah,
are canceling.
yeah, spring training is off. We don't know. Like, I don't think there's been word. Are they taping SmackDown tonight? Is WWE gonna hold SmackDown tonight?
I have
Do we
no idea.
do it? Because I only ask because we have WrestleMania is in Florida. We don't know if
Yep.
that we don't know if that's gonna happen. Realistically, how safe or unsafe can it be? It's going to be a wrestling event in Florida.
Right. Right.
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I love parts of Florida, but Florida, it's Florida. If the disease doesn't get you, the alligators and the Komodo dragons and the dudes who look like Post Malone are gonna get you. But yeah. So they don't know about that, but also SummerSlam is in Boston this year, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
so we don't know if that's even coming. But it was supposed to come, but we don't know if it's going to be there. So yeah, this is yeah. Have you been out to a store or anything lately?
Yeah, I saw the lines at Market Basket this morning, and they looked like a Walmart on Black Friday.
Oh Jesus, I was out because look, I've got provisions here. I've got some. I already live alone, and I've already been through a sick thing recently. So I'm not I'm not being uncautious, but I'm not down in a bunker just yet. You know,
No, I mean, how much toilet paper do you need for 2 weeks?
and why is it toilet paper? This is look, I understand. I understand is that everyone needs to wipe their ass. I get it, but it's people buy all kinds of I get water. I get it. Non-perishable foods like dry beans, dry rice. I get it. I get it. But toilet paper, it seems like one, if it gets really bad, that's going to be the least of your problems.
Yep.
Two, you might as well save money and get really, really cheap paper towels that are multi-use. Because again, the reason that you have toilet paper instead of other paper is that toilet paper dissolves really quick so that it'll flush really well. But if this turns into Walking Dead, there's not going to be flush toilets,
Yep. Yep.
So you might as well just have other paper. This is just me spitballing.
No,
But
I'd be more concerned with them shutting off my water
yeah,
than me having toilet paper.
yeah, right. So you get your water, you get that. But I'm going in and I'm seeing people all lined up, and everyone's grim faced, and stuff is just pulled off the shelves. And I'm looking at, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing in Act One of a zombie movie here? Listen, I get it. People have died of this. It's been bad, and it's. I think that if we had stable leadership, maybe this wouldn't be so bad. Because this is how much even people who voted for him don't trust Donald Trump to do anything. Is that we're Americans. Americans are the dot gif of the guy with the flag and the hurricane.
Yep.
You literally have to sit us down and show us a chart that says if you don't do X, you will die, to get us to actually panic about something. And
Yes.
people actually panic because normally, we do so. We have remember we were really, really scared that more terrorists were coming for about 2 days after 9/11, right?
Yeah.
And then after 2 days, Bush said, "Hey guys, we're going." And Bush, who everyone knew was a fucking idiot then, but not quite so much as when basically said, "Hey guys, we still got a bunch of armies and bombs. We're gonna go to Afghanistan and get these motherfuckers." Turned out it was the next president that did that, but okay, fine. But he said, "We're gonna do it. Everyone get back about your business." and people went out, and I was like working retail then, and people bought shit just to buy shit. And because like
Yeah.
Americans are generally resilient, but all it took was to get someone who demonstrably has no effing idea what he's doing, and has surrounded himself with other people who have no fucking idea what they're doing, and people are getting out there. It's like, I voted for this motherfucker, but fuck this. I'm getting my rice and beans and my water, and because they're no, I'm staying in.
And now I don't feel safe. Like,
Yeah,
it was fine when he was making people I didn't like not feel safe,
yeah.
but now I don't feel safe.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous, and all this thing of like people aren't going to Chinese restaurants.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to say is here's the deal. I mean, the biggest joke between people in the United States when it comes to the majority of Americanized Chinese food is that it's not Chinese food anyway. It's like going to the Olive Garden and thinking you're getting classic Italian cuisine. So why is it all of a sudden that we think we're going to get sick from Americanized Chinese food?
Well, no,
They're not.
It's because
It's
people.
so racist.
Well, it's because they have jumped on this thing to call it the Wuhan flu or the Chinese flu or something.
Oh
Because
no, I get it.
they don't want it to be the Trump flu.
But here's the deal. Italy,
Yeah,
which is handling the shit, but still got it real bad. No
yeah,
one's like complaining about pizza and pasta.
yeah. Well, no, it's well that's because when you go into an Italian restaurant, generally you unlike
You
like
don't see the
you
foreigners you're scared of.
yeah, well, you don't see Italians for the most part.
Christ almighty.
Because it's there. Because in the United States, still, if you go to, especially in Americanized Chinese, unless we're talking about a P.F. Chang's or something, but for those of you out in
No, they're not going to PF Chang's either.
well, I know, but what I mean is that the stereotypical Chinese restaurant is still the kind that you have here on the Northeast, in Boston, throughout, on the West, in cities, where it's like a generational thing where it's a family that runs it, and it's like there's a grandfather. You know what I mean?
No,
Whereas
of course.
if you go into a pizza restaurant, it is entirely possible to go into a pizza restaurant or an Italian place and meet no Italian employees.
True statement.
Like for example, do you know there's a Boston Pizza in Canada? Did you know there's a chain called
Yes,
Boston?
we've been. Me and my wife.
Yeah, right. Now, when I went in, I said, "What the fuck makes this Boston Pizza?" I went and had it, and I looked at him and said, "Oh, okay, it's Greek."
Yep.
It's
Ding ding ding.
Yeah, because Canada doesn't have like as many Grecian immigrants as the northeastern United States does. So pizza with like the basically like a delicatessen that also sells pizza like we have here that are typically run by Greeks or now Russians who bought it from Greeks that moved to Florida are that's Boston Pizza.
Well, Canada was the first time I went to a restaurant and got spaghetti.
Yeah.
Which again, they don't differentiate whether it's Greek or Italian. It's just spaghetti.
Mm.
And I had what essentially, and it was very good, but what essentially was our mother's spaghetti and meatballs, because our mother was raised by a French Canadian woman, and French Canadian spaghetti and meatballs is basically the same sauce base as American chop suey. It's peppers and onions and meat. And your sauce. And people that are Italian, that shit does not go in your sauce. Yeah. And so it was interesting. It was like, I pinpointed it. Do you know what Canada also has? Because it started there, was East Side Mario's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which was a chain of very over-the-top. Basically, what if everybody's vision of Italians from the Super Mario Brothers made an Italian restaurant? Yeah, it was basically East Side Mario's.
Restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
man.
Yeah, so we got so that's how it's going with the COVID, whatever we're fucking calling this. So that's going on. I hope I don't get sick again.
Yeah, me either.
I hope no one that I care. I hope no one listening to this gets sick. I think isn't the asshole who's in charge of Brazil had it, and now a bunch of people in the administration have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily, our American treasure Tom Hanks was in a country that actually took this seriously, and he
Yeah.
got tested and is being helped.
Yeah. I think that was, I think if you're like the, I mean, granted, one of the reasons this now sucks here is because like President Trump had that the numbers. He said, "Look, no, we're not gonna report as many of the numbers, and we're not gonna test people because I don't want the numbers to go up. Because if it has a big number, that might make me not get reelected." And so now we're behind. Yeah, so that
Jesus
happened.
Christ.
Yeah, so that happened. But like, I think one of the I think that had the Tom Hanks thing and closing Disneyland not happened like 2 days apart from each other. Not even that was like 24 hours apart from each other, maybe less. I think
Yeah.
those two right next to each other, especially the Tom Hanks one, was the part when people went like you could feel people going like, okay, all right, we'll have some jokes with this, we'll have some jokes, and then people went, well, what the fuck? Because it's like people joke about, oh yeah, Tom Hanks, America's dad, and like we joke about that, but like the reaction literally was, it was like everyone's parents got sick in Australia at the same time.
Yep. Oh
Like
yeah.
the whole country turned around on it, like, oh shit, this is real. This is fucking real. This is a real thing. And then they shut down Disney World, which like it's the most sensible thing because yeah, it's a theme park. It's full of families and kids. Of course, it's like the first thing you shut down in this, but somehow the concept of that, and
Of a
maybe I'm
fanciful kingdom.
yeah, yeah, maybe this seems like I don't know, like maybe I'm nuts. Like I can hear like it's like, oh hey, like and I don't want to shit on cities or not, but I feel like if I heard in complete succession like uh Milwaukee's a war zone, Detroit's been shut down, we don't know, we've lost contact with Cleveland, that sort of thing, I'd be like, well that sucks, well that sucks, well that sucks. And then they said like it's like this would be the point in the movie where like the phone hangs up slow and everyone turns around and the music drops out and like the command center would be the point where someone says they've shut down Disneyland. Like
Now see,
for some reason that sounds like a point of no return thing. That it's almost
maybe you hit the nail on the head. Maybe we're living out a terrible sequel in the It's Fallen franchise.
oh god. It just kind of feels like when they say maybe it's because like the whole point of that is like, hey, it's Disneyland, it's the Magic Kingdom, you step through these gates and this is the imaginary, all like Mickey Mouse is real here and this is there, and it's like wait a minute, are you telling me this can like pass through like reality? It's like not even that safe. Like shit.
Yeah. I mean,
That's,
how good of a job does Disney do on
yeah,
making you feel like they're not touchable by that stuff?
yeah. It's literally like Tom Hanks got sick and they shut down Disney World. Like the only way that the third thing is there is if like fucking Superman fell out of the sky. Like that's
Yeah,
the
yeah. You not only did Superman just fall out of the sky dead, but we just came to the realization and he died that he existed at the same moment. That's the next thing that happens.
that's like the you ever see the Kids in the Hall sketch, the thing about the Nietzsche God is dead sketch, where
Yep.
Nietzsche said in 1954 Nietzsche declares God is dead. I disagree. Someone says God is dead and here is the body. Cut to like the priest in it's like a news report. Cut to the priest in the church. You're talking to the Britishers, folks. I've got some good news and some bad news.
Hey, the Kids in the Hall are coming back, Bob.
Yeah, holy shit.
That's a funny segue.
Yeah, I think I am fascinated to see how that looks because like I've seen like the tapes of, like the live shows that they were at, and like the last time they did this 20 years ago, they were old as shit.
Yeah, and not for nothing,
Yeah,
because I love the Kids in the Hall and I love all those guys.
yeah,
That is going to take some serious thinking in the writing room on like things have progressed a long way since those guys were on TV, and they they were not necessarily the most politically correct group of fellas in the world,
Well,
and progressive in a lot of ways.
yeah.
But I would really hope some of the jokes from their movie might get excised out of some of the
Well,
new stuff.
somewhat. The thing is, they haven't stopped. None of them have stopped doing comedy or
Good.
going forward,
They're all
and
so funny.
they are. Scott Thompson stayed on stuff. Remember, Mark McKinney was on SNL for a while, and they did
Yeah.
this. This is comeback number 2 because they had that the series that it was a 1 season series that was on in Canada and the UK, and then they reran it in the States. It was like Death Comes to Town or some such.
Oh yeah.
It's like 15, and it was like 10, 15 years ago, and they weren't doing. It was all new characters, and it was like a set storyline, but it wasn't. So they've been background. So it's not as though they're going to be like walking in out of not going to say like, hey, that's not. It's not like going to be the Krusty the Clown episode on The Simpsons when he like did the Asian jokes on stage and everyone freaked out.
I always worry about stuff like that, and I was proven wrong by, like, say, Eddie Murphy, who
Yeah,
showed up on SNL and was just like, "Oh wow, oh, you like stayed in touch with this shit. Good
yeah.
job, buddy."
Well, and it was that was really cool too. I liked seeing Eddie. I liked seeing Eddie's whole comeback has been great. And one of the the low key nice things about it was that he has not said anything about the current stand up scene, who we like, so other than hey, this is my buddy, I like this guy. Hey, he will talk people up, but he's never had anything to say about the changing stuff of what is and is not acceptable and
Right,
it's always,
exactly.
he's always been pointed at as especially the stuff on especially from Raw and especially from the the 2 big specials. I'm blank. Delirious, right?
Hilarious,
Yeah.
yeah.
Raw and Delirious are both really great sketches that both had the big section right in the middle where he had all of his gay jokes that are you couldn't do any of that now, and for
Dude,
good
it's amazing because unlike some things where you're like, you know what, that's gross, don't repeat that now. They're definitely that, but I like that he kind of left them there.
yeah. Well, it's like
He's kind of just like, no, that just stays. Like, just stay there. You know what I mean?
the thing is, there's no way to refine it to refine it
Exactly.
because the only joke there is gay stuff makes me uncomfortable, and therefore this is funny.
And everyone in the audience is on the same wavelength, and
Or, or
that's
they're
the hard part.
they're laughing because that's like the cultural reinforcement thing. And what is for years that was always held up as one of the yes, these are 2 perfect comedy specials, and except and what's going to happen is he going to come back, what's he going to say about this, like when he finally comes back, are we going to get like the Dave Chappelle thing where half of the show
Yeah.
is complaining that it's hard to write new jokes or something because everyone did whatever. And instead, when this comes out, people point blank asked him, what was this? And he said, what this was is what I was basically 20 years old, doing the same kind of jokes that other people were. And, if I had the life experience and education that me and everyone else has had now, it's like, no, I wouldn't do those jokes anymore. No, I won't do them now. I think the timing is funny. I think that, the way I do that, but no, I wouldn't do that now. I don't tell those jokes now, and other people shouldn't be doing that shit now either. And that was
Right.
that. And when
Straight to the point.
yeah, and when he goes out on stand up now, he doesn't do that material. And I don't think that a lot of the same stuff would. I don't think that a lot of it would. And not for nothing, the Dolomite's My Name is great. It's every bit as good and funny in much the same way it was as his R-rated and then PG-13 rated grown-up comedies of the 80s. And it just doesn't have quite as many of the rape and gay jokes. Or if they are in there, it's a different context because, hey, we made this in 2019.
Yes, that movie's a goddamn masterwork as
It's
far
great.
as comedies are concerned.
Great.
I loved it.
It's great, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping Coming to America 2 is fun.
And that other Beverly Hills Cop movie he's apparently doing.
Yeah, I hope that works. I really
I want it to.
Yeah, I didn't hate Beverly Hills Cop 3, but it was kind of like odd that like the Beverly Hills Cop movies have kind of like, hey, the first one's kind of a romp. The second one is training for Bad Boys 2, basically. Like,
Yep.
decades ago. It's ridiculously violent for no reason. It's only half as funny, and it's like, what is this the same thing as the first movie? What's going on here? And then the third one is a kids movie where he's in not Disney World. Like,
Yeah.
it's the weirdest goddamn trilogy. So who knows what this new one's going to be? Did they say if Judge Reinhold's going to be in it?
I believe they confirmed he will be in it. I can't say that for sure, but I believe I read that. Did I hear that they were getting the original director of the first and third movie back, or is that wrong?
I don't think so.
I
I'm
had
not.
heard some rumor that he convinced what's his head? The Goonies guy. Goonies and Lethal Weapon and Beverly Hills Cop. What's his name?
Richard Donner?
Yeah.
Uh,
I had heard a rumor of this. I'm not
it,
saying
it
what's the
may
last thing he made? 16 Blocks?
possibly he might have died.
Did Richard Donner die? I know Tony Scott died, but that was
I don't think.
that
Hold on.
was
Yeah, hold on. Look that up because I feel
I'm
like
looking it up.
I feel like this is like now. Granted, he may also just retired, but I feel like I haven't heard Richard Donner.
Wow. Now Richard Donner's alive, but he's 89 years old.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So he's not.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So he's old as shit. No, I think Craig Brewer is doing Beverly Hills Cop too.
You're right. He is. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Craig Brewer is on that, which is good. So it's. Yeah, I'm on there. And as much as I look, I think Richard Donner was a great journeyman director, always was. He's made several classic movies. The script and the acting is what's going to make a Beverly Hills Cop sequel.
And that's going to be the same thing with Coming to America 2.
Yeah.
If Coming to America 2 hits the beat that Dolomite did with its racial humor and its kind of like highly like overblown reality, but it's still it just needs to hit that same level of playfulness, because Coming to America is another one that'll be a really hard thing to do if they just make the same movie again.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's gonna be quite a thing. I feel like coming to right now we're two white guys on the Coming to America.
No, I know.
Yeah, we are. The Coming to America sequel.
We fell into that trap.
We're not the guys who are gonna. We are not the guys who are going to decide whether or not Coming to America 2 is good. That's got that. There's a whole other audience that's going to get us to say it's like that whether or not this is a good movie, and that works, and I'm for it.
So yeah, to bounce on from there, speaking of movies, so that's kind of up in the air now too, huh?
Yeah.
Productions are getting canceled, movie releases are getting postponed and moved around.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Is this when Netflix finally takes over? Is this it?
I have heard through the grapevine, and I will do the the courtesy of not saying who I'm hearing this from, but it's or whether or not it's more than one source, but that there are a lot of phone calls being made to a lot of streaming services about what to do with pretty much anything that's not like a tentpole movie right now that was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Like a couple of months of like, what do we have to do to get not just put on your site, because Netflix has for some reason infinite money, or at least spends like they do. Like Netflix spends like the government, and so I think it's less, hey Netflix, would you distribute our movie, and more, would you distribute our movie and actually tell people that you're doing it? Because sometimes like
yes,
because there's so much stuff on Netflix. Sometimes something shows up on Netflix, and like every once in a while, I'll see on like social media, Netflix cancels after 3 seasons, and it's something that I've never heard of. It's got like a bunch of big actors in it, and that apparently like hundreds of people were really enjoying, and I've never heard of it because Netflix doesn't promote anything on anything else other than Netflix. So unless you just constantly have Netflix on, you haven't heard it.
Yep.
Yeah, like, yeah. So that's going on. But okay. So I'll see that. I can only assume that what will eventually happen is that if you are like a film shooting studio space in a country that's already said, "Hey, we good," I have a feeling you're about to make a shitload of money about if this lasts longer than like 5 months, because
Yo, yeah.
they're going to need to turn these. They can delay the movies like forever, but they're going to need to turn the shooting of these productions back on. Like you'll notice, Disney bumped every goddamn movie except for Black Widow because
Yep.
the Marvel movies can only open a certain amount of time apart from each other because like the stories have to be in the right way.
Yeah.
So like when is this going to happen? Oh, we just had another cancellation. TFCon, one of the big Transformers conventions, TFCon Orlando is off.
Yikes.
That's a big one.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Well, I,
Whoa.
I I am glad that the world is reacting
Coolidge
correctly.
Theater here in Boston has suspended all films, special events, and education programs through at least next up until at least next month.
What's this?
Coolidge Corner Theater has.
Oh,
Oh man, see now it's one thing when people decide to stop going to places, but like,
well, that's where the bummer comes in when you think about, like a thing like South by Southwest is it's like,
yeah,
that one, there's how many films that got accepted to be in that festival this year that is their only means of getting the word out was this
yeah,
festival. Then you've got Texas, which takes in a ton of tourist money off of this. This is the thing you got to think about. They just dumped $1.5 trillion into the stock market because this virus is going to affect capitalism and capitalism can't go away. And it's like, well, what about healthcare and the arts? And you know, yeah, okay, movies are part of capitalism, but still they bring in more than just that. They bring people to the areas that need people. It's the same thing with the argument about why are you boycotting a Chinese food restaurant? They need to make money off of you. They're going to close if you don't eat there, you know?
yeah, yeah,
It's just ridiculous. Ah,
yeah. It's
but
really quite a
but
thing.
but I'd rather have us react this way and have infrastructure get back up and running quicker than have everybody not give a shit and then we end up spreading it everywhere and then everything shuts down forever.
Yeah, yeah,
So this let's try to reset the world approach. Um
yeah. This
hard
we
reboot.
yeah this seems like we're with all of these things turning off. I mentioned this when you said I said I guess this is the point we're going to turn off. We've reached the point where this is what we're going to do about America over the last 3-4 years. We're literally going to turn off the country and turn it back on again and see if that helps.
But I mean, couldn't we like clear the front end memory or something and get rid of some of the mess while we're at it?
I
It's like
mean,
clear local cache. I
well,
bet the majority I bet the majority of this part of the country forgot to save their data. Let's just kidding.
let's be perfectly honest about this. If the president doesn't already have this, he's going to.
Oh, of course he's gonna have this,
I,
and we're never gonna find out about it.
the funniest goddamn shit is that like, and I don't feel bad about saying this is funny at all. It is fucking funny that Lindsey Graham is like has to quarantine himself and is probably sick with this virus because he had to go and hang out with the Nazi who's in charge of Brazil at Mar-a-Lago because Trump made him. That's fucking funny. Like that, like it sucks that Justin Trudeau is sick. It sucks that like a bunch of the people, I guess the royal family is sick, and the one who's not a pedophile is the one the all of the all of them except that one who's a pedophile apparently are like seem like okay rich people. Like that sucks. It's bad all around. But like Lindsey Graham, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, no,
That's
that fuck that
that's
guy.
That's fucking funny. That little toad, stuck inside his little, southern mansion, sitting there asking for a medicated mint julep because this fly is wilting, is just the funniest shit I can imagine. I hope he is hacking up stuff that he doesn't even know where it came from. That little fuck.
Yeah, no, that yes, the 38-minute mark. Fuck Lindsey Graham. That's what I want to say right now. That feels as good to say as the "fuck you Hitler" line from Jojo Rabbit, which I love. Or "fuck off Hitler." That made me so happy.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so since the outlook is odd right now, to say the least.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. In positive things, is there anything going on that's positive? You thought Onward was pretty good. I've helped you do some things involving Onward. We
Well,
had our Comic-Con panel. We alluded to it, but holy shit, how cool was that, Bob?
yeah. We had a PAX panel. That was great.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, we had a Comic-Con panel. Crap. I know. We had our PAX 2020
Don't
panel.
jump the gun.
Sorry.
Don't jump the gun.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, I am jumping the gun a little bit. But, Bob, how was the 25 people that were in that theater, according to the internet?
That was a banger, man. That was really cool.
I don't know. Last I counted, there were 400 seats in there, and we were probably about three-quarters of the way filled. And, considering we were on at around the same time as our friends at Loading Ready Run, they deserve to have a packed room. So the fact that anyone was left in ours, holy shit. That was wild. I'm still riding the high from that, dude.
That was great. I was thrilled. I haven't done it in a while at PAX. Certainly not to that kind of a crowd. We honestly, I had submitted it, and so much other stuff had gone, and they took a while getting back to us. And then the thing that was they got back to us got into my spam folder accidentally, so it almost missed our window. And they were very good about it. So we had not a lot of time to prepare, and I think we did a pretty good job. And
so do I. And the thing I tried to remind people, and this is not at all, trying to wave credit for Chris, because but this is very outside of my comfort zone, and I know that even though you've done these things a lot, this isn't necessarily in your comfort zone either. Talking in front of a big crowd, you're just good at it. But with everything the two of us had going on, and you're cold and everything, we put a lot of this together very late, and it really worked, and the crowd loved it, and I'm incredibly proud. I didn't think I'd be as proud of creating it. Doing it is fine. You and I can talk, and we could have got up in front of the room and talked without putting any thought into it, because that's just what we do. That's the show, right? But this thing we actually prepared for and wanted to have a narrative that we thought would be a good thing to say to people. And the majority of the crowd and the feedback after, people were way into it. I mean, I got asked for autographs at a convention. That was really cool.
Yeah,
I don't mean to kind of geek out about it, but I'm geeking out about it. This is really fucking cool.
It was, and it feels good, and I was way into it.
And without saying names, you had a couple of good interactions there at the end as well with people that were like, "Wow, this is coming out of nowhere. This is very cool."
Yeah, no, I met some very good fans. I'm starting to get a lot of people telling me that they grew up watching my stuff, which is very nice. But also, it's like, Jesus Christ, am I that old? I guess so.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? Is they say it to me too, and you started doing your stuff when I was in college. And so for me to hear that, it's like, oh yeah, that was 20 years ago. Uh-oh. And it's like, yeah, we grew up watching your brother, and it's like, oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm only 3 years younger than him. Shit.
Yeah. Well, it came together great. I met a few people, met some industry people this time. Well, every time it's a work convention as much as it's a fun convention. But, ran into some people who said, it's like, hey, I was watching your stuff with such and such. I was like, fucking excuse me?
Yeah, that blew me away.
oh yeah, no, this person. Oh no, yeah, this person's a fan. I'm like, well, I'm not going to drop the name because
No, of course not.
that would be untoward. But holy shit, okay, that's something.
Yeah.
Mm. So that was really big high.
The interactions in person, for me make this worthwhile because the the negative people are very loud, let's just say. And so when you get them leeching their way in, it kind of makes you forget that, if someone's going to get out of their house and come out and see you, they're probably going to be someone that's already a fan. And to hear those positive remarks is just, I'll never be able to get enough of it. And I know this is small potatoes, what I do.
Yeah,
Um, but again, part of the celebration of this 3 years of this is that you really gave me that little push off the cliff to try this out, and I love it.
good. I am super glad about that, man. I really am, and you're good at it.
I love it.
You really are. That's the whole working a crowd and because we had, for those of you who have not watched the video yet, watch the video. But we had some technical difficulties, so our visual stuff didn't come up right away. Not our fault.
Oh, I fixed that, by the way. It was actually my fault.
Oh, what happened?
The adapter I bought had some firmware built into it that you had to go into a folder and activate. And
Ah,
but I showed it to someone at work, the IT guy, and he's just like, yeah, these things are stupid. He goes, of course nobody at PAX would have known this because these have only been around for like a year. Like
ah,
laptops that don't have anything but a USB out, you know.
right, right,
But
right.
but anyway, yeah, no, again, also not our fault, also not the technical people from PAX's fault, but we got through it. Right. I think you and I were able to kind of give the thing a nice intro there. Um, and we got the jokes in and got the crowd going, and it just went over great.
Yeah, no, it went good. People reacted well. It played great, and it was, working a crowd, especially when you're not like you weren't necessarily planning to be uh, doing it on the fly right off. I've done that several times. At this point, it's second nature. But you slipped right into it, and you did really good, and people had good questions, and I think it came together well. And
It
I
really
was
did.
I was on board. I really was.
Oh, you better have been. You're the co-host. No.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. It was just great. And PAX this year, I thought it was wonderful.
yeah,
I know you didn't get to be there as much as probably you would have wanted with everything going on, but I had a lot of fun.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So what else have you seen? Anything that I haven't seen yet that you can talk
Uh,
about? This is airing Tuesday, so you will have had reviews drop maybe
yeah,
today.
I did Bloodshot on this past week. That was pretty good. It was
Oh,
okay.
cool. That's the
Not
Vin Diesel is a superhero finally movie.
kind of like it's from a Valiant comic, and it's there, but they're not like you know they're not playing up the. I mean, like he does action stuff, but he doesn't have like the like Bloodshot in the comics. Like doesn't wear a shirt and has a symbol on his chest and stuff. And so it's like no, he's just gonna put on a work shirt and we're gonna give him some glowy Iron Man shit underneath. He's like, guys, slow down. Vin's over 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's swole-ish, but like we can barely get him to show up for the Fast and Furious movies, and he sits behind a wheel for a lot of those. So slow down. But no, it's pretty good. It's it is what it is. It's the Punisher if he was also Wolverine, but it's fine.
Cool.
Lots of guns
And
and shooty and matrixy stuff. It kind of feels like something that should have come out in like 2002, and people would have been like, "Hey, cool!" And now it'll be like, fine,
so better than Venom.
Well, yeah, but
So was the second Ninja Turtles movie, but we're not getting into that.
well, yeah,
Uh
yeah. Well, like this one is like perfectly passable. Like Venom is kind of aggressively bad in some places,
yeah.
but
Um
have you done Venom yet?
no, I haven't. I'm just going off of
Venom
just my
jokes.
general feeling about the character. What was that?
When you're doing Venom jokes, you haven't watched Venom yet. You got to watch Venom.
I'm just going with my general feeling about the character. I'm kind of burnt out on a lot of that. I want to watch good superhero movies, and Marvel gives me plenty of those most of the time. I did see Birds of Prey.
Yeah, that was
That was
awesome. Love. Right.
that was incredible.
Mm.
I love the whole concept of Black Mask being walking toxic masculinity,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and have that play like awesome, like in a
mm.
very gross way instead of gross in a very oh of course kind of way.
Yeah,
I love that his thing is cutting off people's faces, but that he deems below him, so he has his little toady do it. But
yeah,
harassing women at his own nightclub, he's perfectly fine with.
yeah, yeah.
He's what is Ewan McGregor is having a fucking time right now, huh?
No, he was good. It's got a great the movie's got a great edge to it. Like Margot Robbie, it's yeah. I had a ball at Birds of Prey. I thought it was terrific, and I think it'll find its it did find its audience. It did as well as something of that budget that's not expected to perform like a Batman movie would generally do, and
Right.
it'll get in there. It's recognized.
God, I hope so, because it was great. Everyone in it was great.
Yeah,
The action was great. It was fun. That's the thing. It still kept some of the DC. Okay, this has some dark, gritty realism to it. I mean, it was very much an R-rated movie in a lot of respects, but it never stopped being fun.
yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of them forget. And I hope. Well, I mean, I can almost guarantee with uh what's his name behind the helm of Suicide Squad. Why am I bad with names today? James Gunn. That's going to be more of the tone of where he'd be going with that. Would be similar to what they did in Birds of Prey, but I just hope so. I hope that this is kind of setting the bar. I also just recently watched Aquaman, and holy shit, is that every thing I could ever expect an Aquaman movie to be. It's
Wait,
so
you hadn't
fucking
already seen Aquaman?
bonkers.
You hadn't already seen Aquaman?
I bought it at Black Friday this year, and it made me so friggin' happy. I mean, is it a great movie? No fucking way. Is it having an absolute blast? You bet your ass it is. It just he's got a shit ton of charisma, which I never thought I'd say about Jason Momoa
Yeah,
in this movie. He's awesome in this.
he really
Um,
is.
and the movie is just from scene one is just so unabashedly what I hope a He-Man movie would look like if they ever
Yeah,
fucking make one.
yeah.
You know?
It's crazy, and I love. It's like I still don't know if Aquaman was good, but I know I enjoyed it.
Exactly. How is it that James Wan is able to jump genres so
Yeah,
perfectly?
he's
Like,
just and it's like the thing that I keep going back to about Aquaman is one is that I'm really glad that James Wan had like 7 different good ideas for an Aquaman movie, and I'm even more
yes,
glad that he made all of them.
he totally did.
And I was with it like from the start with the submarine business and everything. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, I can groove on this. This is about as dumb, but also about as kind of like I mean, well, that's not true. I think in terms of that, I was probably with it when like the opening business with like Nicole Kidman and Tamura Morrison are that this is almost like you might if you didn't know what the fuck this was, you might think it's like okay, all right, this is some kind of like fantasy movie, and then suddenly she's fighting like water Power Rangers.
No, exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I mean. This looked like they didn't even try, like, you can doctor things up, but they don't care. No, these are people wearing fucking plastic costumes. This
yeah,
is the fucking Power Rangers.
yeah.
Deal with it.
Like guys, look, this is Aquaman. He rides a seahorse. This is about as good as this is. We're this is about as good as this is going to get. So we're just going to
And
make
the
this and spend what must have been an incredible amount of money on
the movie is huge.
it.
Like,
There's a throwaway scene that doesn't even need to be in the movie that like it would have to read in the script. It's like exterior underwater, 10,000 mermaids are fighting giant lava crabs. in like the biggest like battle scene you've ever seen, and it's like, yeah, by the way, this is going to be on screen for 5 minutes. None of these people matter, but like nothing. It's been like 10 minutes before you've seen Warner Brothers literally like set $200 million on fire. So here it is. I can only picture guys at Warner Brothers like looking at this thing going, how much fucking money did we spend on this? Okay, all right, and this
It's
this is
like
this
it's
is
like if they said, "Hey, that quick 10 minutes we spent on Krypton at the beginning of Man of Steel that was
yeah,
actually kind of interesting, and I wish we saw more of that.
yeah,
Let's just do that for 2.5 hours."
right, but not as like but not trying to be as much of a real movie, because like
Right.
because we still get all of that, and then we get cut to exterior, underwater, Willem Dafoe riding shark and Dolph Lundgren just kind of being himself, under
Yeah.
doing an exposition scene of which is literally as you need to find the sacred trident in order to unite the seven kingdoms of the undersea and declare yourself the ocean master. Yes, that is true. The earth must be perished. Like doing all of this bullshit exposition about this other world and stuff that they just told us that they both know, and then a submarine shoots at them and there's an action scene. And I'm watching this and I'm going, yeah, they definitely made an Aquaman movie.
The movie, it waves this giant fucking weird flag with so much pride.
Yeah,
Like, it just doesn't care. And I like it because even though Shazam, because I didn't see Aquaman, I saw Shazam,
yeah,
felt like such a great middle finger to what had come before it, the
yeah,
same way that a lot of Wonder Woman did, but still kind of had that feel of the other films. This one is just a giant, yeah. You thought you were serious? Wait until you see what we have in store. Willem Dafoe is going to deliver exposition underwater while riding a shark.
yeah,
Okay? This
yeah.
is what we've got in store for you.
Here,
Like,
yeah, here's our big first confrontation where like the two guys are going to fight each other in the arena. Cut to octopus on drums. Why?
yeah, of course.
Just
Of
because.
course. Oh,
Yes.
I love it so much. Like I said, I couldn't tell someone this was it's not, I don't think it's a good film, but it's an incredibly well-made, fun film.
It's Splash Gordon. It's terrific.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's
It's
just as strange as Flash Gordon.
yeah. It's yeah. I'm impressed that it happened. I saw this at a press screening, like ahead of time, and I just kind of looked and be like, you can see people looking around you. You're like, are they kidding? Is this real? Is this now the movie? Oh yeah, but like or the part where it's briefly alien but in water. Like
Yep,
suddenly there's like xenomorphs, like mermaids, because they
yep.
had to just go to a part of the where like they have to find like we need to find the special map and go to a place and the directions are the map are like take the boat X amount of like miles offshore and then go straight down and there's like water aliens
Yep.
and then they're at the center
As there are.
and then they're at the center of the earth and there's dinosaurs and that's a 2-minute part of the movie.
God, if this movie had only been made when we were like 11.
Oh, it's wild, but and Jason Momoa, he takes it. He has been not good in some movies, but he's been compelling in others, and he really, he made a believer out of me. He's really good in this.
He is fantastic in
He,
this.
he's got,
His delivery works. I believe this guy like exists in this world. Like
yeah,
the humor and the jokes are it's like some of the best times that bad 80s like action movie guys delivered crappy lines like worked, and he just nails it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
this movie is fun with a capital fucking F.
yeah. I'm impressed that I am impressed in order that it is what it is. I'm impressed that I liked it as much as I did, and also I'm impressed that like people went to see it
A
because
lot of people went to see it.
at the same point that I'm watching, I was like, you know what? I think I might love this, and also, boy, I hope that that thing where China really likes underwater movies bears out, because I can only imagine the guys who like pay money for things at Warner Brothers looked at this and like went shaking back to their offices like, oh God, what did we do? Oh God, what
Yep.
did we do? So thank apparent like who knows what anyone wants anymore. Apparently this work, they tried, here's Superman, here's Batman, here's the biggest things ever, and they're like, okay, here's Aquaman. We don't know if this is good, or here's this fish guy movie, and it's epic as hell, and it's big and ridiculous, and there's mermaid people with jetpacks underwater and a whale fight, and have fun with it.
Also, just because I have to say this, because you and I live near Boston
Yeah,
and we grew up with the New England Aquarium,
yeah,
I still love this movie, even though it starts in the Boston Aquarium, which is not a fucking thing, number one. And two,
yeah,
no aquarium has a tank that big that has great white sharks in it,
yeah, yeah.
especially the New England Aquarium.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that, but it's a good beat. It's a good beat.
No, it's a great scene. It's like the Harry Potter snake thing. It made me short circuit a little bit. Um, but yeah. So Aquaman's a thing. So um, it also amazes me that everyone went and saw Aquaman and Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is basically the same movie. Um,
Yeah,
as far as size and scope and tone,
yeah,
no one went and saw that.
yeah. That was a
Like that's
shame.
that's sad. It sucks. Godzilla King of the Monsters should have been like Fury Road.
Yeah,
It
that
should
should
have
have.
just been like everybody loves this and we're gonna get 20 more and go fuck yourself. And no, instead we got, oh, we're not sure if the other ones are gonna have, I mean they're making them, but
Well, fortunately,
uh
we're already making the King Kong movie, as this was the Godzilla
and
versus Kong.
that's Adam Wingard, right?
Yes.
I love him.
Yeah. But there's spoilers out there for that already, which uh, I wish that it was possible for them to show off merchandise for movies and not be spoiled by them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at least it's good news. So, but
I can't fucking wait for that movie.
yeah, it looks good. I hope. Like, I love King of the Monsters. Like, the thing of it is I'm getting the sense that it's possible after all of these different attempts now, and it's like that it's like, as much as I love Godzilla, and I always have, and like everyone knows Godzilla and has heard of it, basically because these were inexpensive Japanese movies that were on TV all the time for free while our parents were growing up, and then to a lesser extent, but still there while we were growing up. Godzilla is one of those things that I think everyone knows and kind of assumes would be popular and that everyone will like go to see, but then every time they try to make it happen, it still only stays about as popular as it's always been. And I feel like
Right.
there's just kind of it's possible that there's a ceiling for Godzilla in the United States that we haven't quite like cracked off yet, you know?
I have an interesting theory that I think the King Kong versus Godzilla movie,
Yeah.
even if it's just as good as King of the Monsters, is going to make way more than King of the Monsters. I
I think
think there's I think people like seeing mashups like that.
yeah.
And I think that because Peter Jackson's King Kong, again, it costs so goddamn much that it doesn't matter, but it did good numbers, and
It
the original Godzilla did the new remake Godzilla did good numbers. So why didn't King of the Monsters do good numbers? It's so weird.
well, it was there was a lot of other big movies out at the time, and I think like to me, and a lot of the real you tell us like, hey, here's this Godzilla movie. There's the sequel to the previous one, which everyone saw the last one, like it made big money, but it also had like an 80% drop the next week once people saw it and went home and
True.
told everyone. It's like, oh yeah, hey, like it's okay, but like there's no movie until the last 10 minutes of the movie. So
Right. You're either on board for their narrative, which wasn't great.
yeah,
I enjoy it still, I think, more than you, but it wasn't great. Um, But man, is that 15 minutes of Godzilla so awesome.
It is. But like, whereas King of the Monsters was like, it like almost a Godzilla fan film, and the thing of it is that, like me, I'm like, oh my god, it's King Ghidorah, it's Mothra, it's Rodan, and now there's all these other new monsters too, and it's fucking great. Oh my god, holy shit, I love this. Like me, that's the reason to go see the movie. I feel like probably not as much for a lot of the audience. I looked at that and they and said, yeah, okay, but so what? And I think that's unfortunate. And I think that, like, if it had been pitched out, they probably do need to find a really appealing, consistent human character and put them in all of the movies if you're going to do something like this, because whatever it was that made the kaiju movies like click through in Japanese culture, where you can have a character that does not speak and is just like a big stompy animal that is not necessarily always in the forefront, but is the thing you're there to see in the franchise. That doesn't seem to be a thing that works for us.
Yeah, it's true.
Like unless it's a really cheap series and it's something that is going to like deliver some other visceral thing that can go like Jason and Michael can carry a franchise, but that's just a guy, and how much do they spend on those? And there's a certain amount of iconography to it. But like Godzilla, it's the hero. We're supposed to sort of be rooting for him in these ones. And I think if someone, I don't necessarily want to suggest this because they might do it and I don't know if it's the best way to do it. But if they found a way to do like Gamera where he talked, I feel like that would be, and it was good, I feel like that would be the franchise that they want Godzilla to be. Because what they wanted this to be was they wanted this to be the Marvel Universe, but with giant monsters, where everyone loves, they come back to see these guys, and that's the crossover. And the thing about the reason the Marvel Universe stuff clicked in with the rest of the audience the way other superhero movies have only sort of done, but not sustainably, is that it really is more than the suit and more than the look. Like the people, like the Iron Man 3 doesn't make $1 billion after the first Avengers, going back to just one hero in a movie, because people are super psyched to see a live action Iron Man on screen again. It made that much money because people love Tony Stark and want to hear him quip and find out the rest of the story is. So, and I don't know how you square this. I don't know what the, I don't know how you, I don't know how they I don't know how they get around this other than to try to, because people were, I don't even think that it's necessarily the lack of Godzilla action in the first Godzilla that made people go home and tell people, hey, it's not much Godzilla going on. I think that they went home and told people that Bryan Cranston was only in it for the first act, and that's what people not go. Because when people thought that was Walter White versus Godzilla, everyone wanted to see that movie.
Yeah.
And so
I would have loved to have seen that movie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, even not just Walter White, but the fact that people like Bryan Cranston and they're seeing him in this movie. Like, I think that people were, the idea of Bryan Cranston in the Jeff Goldblum running around trying to tell people that the disaster is coming and no one believes him thing, people looked at that and said, yeah, like that guy. I'm in. And then you go see the movie and it's about Kick-Ass, the kid from Kick-Ass. What is his name? I like him as an actor, but
I didn't like him in this, though. That's the problem. It's such a bummer.
He is either really good or leaves absolutely no impact. And now, like, out of nowhere, like, Timothée Chalamet showed up, and now I feel like, oh wait, like, now it feels like the guy from Kick-Ass is Timothée Chalamet's tethered, and for some reason we got him first. But
I think that might have broken me.
You okay?
I think that broke me. That's legit. That's good.
I tried, but I think that you really do need, as much as a Monster Guy fan, I look at this and I say, it's like, I don't give a fuck about the people. They probably like a course of, like, recurring human characters and make them the stars of these movies,
Yeah.
and like the human stars. Not it's still about Godzilla, but let people know that you're not just coming back to find out where Godzilla's going next, because Godzilla's going wherever the hell he wants next.
Right.
And so I don't know how you square this circle. I don't know. I like for a while people thought that Charles Dance in the new one, the bad guy, people thought that he was going to turn out to have been a an older version of who Tom Hiddleston was in Skull Island.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea. And I don't know if it's not the same actor. I don't know if it has the same impact. But who knows? I don't know if any of the actors from King of the Monsters are in Kong versus Godzilla. At the very least, I would hope that.
I heard Millie Bobby Brown is.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I think they're holding on to her for dear life because,
Yeah.
she's one of the main reasons half of the Stranger Things crowd show back up to that show. So
Okay, hold on. Yeah, no, hold on. I just pulled it up. The thing. It's got a different like main guys. It's got the Alexander Skarsgård is in it.
Scar.
Alexander Skarsgård. They aren't giving us anyone's names, which means I'm sure some of these are there. Alexander Skarsgård. Millie Bobby Brown is back. She is apparently going to decide which of them she sides with. That's interesting. Rebecca Hall is in it. Brian Tyree Henry. Okay, like him. Okay. Shuna Gordy is it? Wait a minute. That's a name. Son of stage director Tetsuya. Oh wow. Yeah, this.
All right.
Yeah, wow. This guy's. He's That's where I know him from. Okay, he does voice actors. He's a voice actor and TV actor. He's been in a bunch of kids stuff. He was the live action Lupin the Third at one point.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's and he was a voice in one of the Full Metal Alchemist anime movies. Jessica Henwick is in it. All right, good on her.
I can't wait for this movie.
She was in. She was Nymeria in Game of Thrones.
There you go.
Yeah, she's a handsome lady. I think would be she's holy shit. Yeah. Sorry, I momentarily it's a smoke show. I had like so yeah, that Jessica Henwick, she's in it. Julian Dennison. Kyle Chandler's back. Chandler, like him. Z Zhang is back. Good. Okay. All right.
So it's legitimately another sequel and not just we wanted to make two different movies and couldn't decide what we were doing.
Now here's what I want to know: is she playing the other one?
Oh.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me see here because it lists her as playing. It lists her as playing. What was her first name in King of the Monsters?
I'll look that up.
This is a movie I've watched like 6 times. I should I should really remember this, but hold on. Hold on. Where's?
I'll look up King of the Monsters.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So she is still. It looks like she's still the first one. She's Irene Chen, and because the other one is named Dr. Ling, and they haven't.
Awesome.
They have not. Like I don't think Dr. Ling has had speaking role yet, but I wonder if she's playing the other one. I think that would be fun.
That is a lot of fun.
And Demian Bashir is in it, so that's cool. And Van Martin, Lance Reddick in an unspecified. Okay, all right. So they've got that there. Who the fuck is playing Godzilla this time? Is it the same guy? Did you know
Godzilla?
This? One guy mocaps Godzilla.
That's awesome. Kind of like they did with Andy Serkis and Kong for a bit.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up. Look up the. I'm gonna find the guy's name. Hold on. Yeah, it's he's an interesting fellow. Yeah. Do you know how they did? Because I had the making of thing. Did you know they really strapped 3 guys together to play Keitra?
That's awesome.
There's like what like because the heads they wanted them to have like different personalities, so they had 3 different guys like with their belts kind of like hooked together playing Ghidorah when they were mocapping the fight stuff, so that the dumb head, the smart head, and the middle head would like react to each
Behave
other.
independently, yeah, and
Yeah,
react to each other.
so they literally strapped 3 guys together to play King Ghidorah. Yeah, okay. The guy who motion captures Godzilla, he was in he motion captures a bunch of stuff. He's been in a few things in like he does a lot of straight martial arts movies and stuff. But look up a photo of the guy. His name is T.J. Storm.
I like the name.
Yeah, look up.
Sounds like a Street Fighter character.
Yeah, look up a photo.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you've seen this guy in things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Hawaiian. He's Hawaiian, Mexican, Native American, African American, Puerto Rican, and he does like voices for video games and martial arts and
a lot of straight to video stuff.
Yes, he does, and he mocaps Godzilla. Is his
wow.
is his current thing. So yeah, so that's cool.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, good on him. Oh, he's also Colossus in the Deadpool movies.
Yes, which is awesome.
I don't think he does the voice, but yeah, he does that. I also didn't know they put a tail on you when you motion capture Godzilla, so that you
walk right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so they have all that happening. Oh nice. Shit! He was the guy with the big head on the second season of VR Troopers.
Yep. Oh, yeah. VR Troopers.
Yeah. So that happened, but yeah, I hope that turns out well, and I hope they don't screw it up. That I hope that they keep making them. They don't get to Godzilla versus Kong and say, oh heck, okay, yeah, this didn't make the money that we needed to, so we're pulling the plug on this again because I want to see more of these.
Me too.
I want to see Gigan or somebody. I want to see I want to see movies. I want to see the more Godzillas.
Yes, I want to see movies. So yeah. So yeah, I should get a move on with my day.
Yeah, you go to it, man. You take care of yourself, all right?
Yeah, but I wanted to say that this has been Bob and Chris talking to you guys. You'll be hearing this on the 18th. Again, 3-year anniversary of the Chipman Brothers Tangent, and it really means so much, Bob, for you getting me moving on this stuff. I love it. And we're coming to you from coronavirus infested United States of America, unsure of our future. But Bob, thank you, dude.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for coming along with us on the tangent. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, hell yeah.